Hello mates, I am Kiran Jadhav here. In this session, I will teach you in Spring Boot create the CRUD application. CRUD it means create, read, update and delete. Create it means we are just going to save data into database. Read it means we are going to fetch data from database and show on our API testing UI screen itself. Update it means existing data we are trying to modify, and delete it means whatever data in the database we are going to delete it. For that perspective, technologies we are using here backend as Java, Java version we are using Java 17. Then controller layer we are using Spring Boot, and the persistence layer we are using here data JPA. Database we are going to use here PostgreSQL, and API testing tools we are using here Postman API and Swagger UI. Now we'll start with our practical session here. For that perspective, come up with the Chrome browser and simply type here Spring Initializer. This is the official web page from Spring Boot to create the Spring Boot application. Project as Maven, language as Java, Spring Boot version we are using here 3.3.6. Here project metadata it means information about our project. Group it means package name. I'm giving the package name as com.fullstack. And artifact it means our application name. Application name I'm giving here Spring Boot CRUD example. Now refactor the base package. In packaging as jar Java version 17, adding dependencies. We are adding here Lumpok. It will help us to reduce boilerplate code. We don't require the getter setters manually. Next, we are adding here DevTool dependency. It will help us for live load the application. Next, Spring Web itself available in the Tomcat server, and it will help us to create the REST API as well. Next, we are adding here data JPA for persistence layer. Next, we are adding here the dependency for Postgres. Now simply click on generate. See, within minute production ready application will be available there. Now copy our application and paste in particular folder. Simply go ahead and do extract. Once extraction is done, then copy the path of our application. Then coming to IntelliJ IDEA, goes to file, new, project from existing sources, and we are giving the application path here. Our application name is Spring Boot CRUD example. Yeah. Now simply click on OK, and then this is Maven project. Click on create trust project with new window. I want to open in another window. Then now coming to here Maven, then simply goes to Maven setting, and here in Maven setting simply goes to compiler, and then check here build process automatically for DevTool perspective, live load perspective. Now simply click on OK. The next step will come up with the pom.xml file, and here coming it down we are adding here Swagger UI dependency. See, Spring Boot version we are using 3.3.6. the compatible dependency I'm just adding here. This dependency you can simply copy from our GitHub itself. I will add the GitHub URL as well with description. Yeah. See, the compatible Swagger UI dependency we are using here 2.0.4. This is for Spring Dog perspective. Now coming to SRC main, there is available resources. In that we are going to create the ML file. Goes to file and give the file name as application.ml, and in that file we are going to add database configurations. Then here I am giving this is Postgres database, and the port number is 5432. This is connection URL, you can simply say. This is username and this is password of my Postgres. Then here we need to create the database as well, but meanwhile we'll go to the Maven and do the Maven build. Simply use Maven clean space install. Then meanwhile we'll come up with the Postgres pgadmin. Then here I'm using PostgreSQL 17, and then coming to database, simply right click here, create database, and giving the database name as HRMDB. Simply click on save. It will create the database. See, our database is created successfully. Coming to schema, there is available table, and in table there is nothing, right? Yeah, data JPA they are using internal implementation as a Hibernate. It is an ORM tool, and Hibernate, it will take care of create table as well, right? The next we'll come up with here and see now our build also success. And once build is success, simply goes to project and then do reload our application. Now we'll start with the skeleton to create our application. For that perspective, coming to src main java conf.fullstack, simply right click here, new package, the package name I'm giving here model package. Now again coming to com.fullstack, new package, the package name we are giving here repository. Now coming to again com.fullstack, we are creating new package, package name I'm giving here service package. And next again we are creating here one more package, package name as controller. This is very basic CRUD application we are creating actually. Yeah. Now right click on model package, new java class, we are giving java class name as a employee. This is our Pojo class. Coming to repository, new java interface we are giving here, this will be employee repository. Now coming to service, in service we are creating first java interface, interface name I'm giving here I employee service. It means this is interface, and within service itself we are creating new implementation class employee service IMPL. Then now coming to controller, in that we are creating new java class as employee controller. There we are creating REST APIs. Now we'll start with the development of our application. For that perspective, simply come up with the Pojo class as employee, annotate with @data. This is Lambok annotation. It will help us to reduce boilerplate code. Next, we are using other constructor for parameterized constructor, nor constructor, default constructor. Next, we are using @entity. It considers this is the entity class. Next, we are using @table, and table name here I am giving employee. Then here we are using @id, it means this is primary key. @generated value, it means this will be to increment. And strategy we are giving here identity. It will generate those auto increment value for EMP ID. Then private int EMP ID. EMP ID is the primary key because we use @ID annotation there. Next we are adding here private string. This will be EMP have name. Next we are adding here private double EMP salary. In my case, I am using only 3 fields, but in your case, you can add Aadhaar card, PAN card, email, password, whatever you want. Yeah. Now, next, we'll come up with the employee repo, annotate with @repository. The @repository, this is optional annotations here. Now, we are using here extend. This will be GPA repo. And here we are passing our Pojo class as employee and the wrapper class itself integer. Yeah. This is our repository layer. Now come up with the employee service. This is our interface. In interface we are creating the abstract method. Then abstract method first I am adding here. This will be employee, and we are just going to say method itself save employee. This is entity we are passing here. Next we are using here optional class. This is Java feature to avoid null pointer exception. Whenever we are trying to use find by ID method, find by ID, and the input parameter itself we are passing EMP ID. Next, we are using here list. This will be type of our employee, and method we are saying this is find all. Again, next we are passing here employee. This is for update. We are passing here employee. Next is we are writing here byte delete by ID, and here we are passing integer EMP ID. Then now coming to next is employee service IMP here, annotate with @service. Service is mandatory annotation. If you are not using it, will be failure option on startup itself. Now service is intermediate between our repo and controller layer. Simply implements IEmployee service. Then now it will give us the compilation problem. It means whatever abstract method in interface you need to implement into implementation class. Now simply mouse over there and simply click on implements methods. It will implement all those 5 methods here. See, all the 5 methods implemented successfully. Now we are using here auto void. It means we are not creating the object by using new keyword. Spring it will take care of creating the object on behalf of us. Then simply mention here private. This will be employee repo. and service is intermediate between our repo and controller. Now we are adding here for saving perspective, return employee repo dot save and pass the entity as employee. Next, this is optional. We are passing here, right? For find by ID perspective, simply say employee repo dot find by ID, and we are passing here ID itself. And whatever method those save, find by ID, those inbuilt methods are available in Jetty API. Now again, here we are writing find all. Next is see data JPEG, there is not available update method. You need to write here save method itself actually. And if ID is not available there for updation, then we'll throw the record not found exception. It means we are going to handle the custom exception as well in Spring Boot itself. Next is delete by ID. Here our return type itself void. We don't require any return keyword. Simply say employee repo dot delete by ID, pass the ID as input parameter. Now coming to next is controller layer. Here you can simply annotate with @ REST controller. It's available at response body, and once you are using REST controller, it will return like object as a response. We are using a request mapping, and here we are mentioning base URI as employees. Now, if you want to use logger, you can simply say SLA4 as well here. Then again, we are calling here at that annotation and mentioning private. This is employee service. And here we are using employee service. In first API, we are going to write the post mapping, and this API name we are giving safe. Then this will be public. You can simply say response entity. Type it will be our employee, and simply give the method name as safe. We are passing a request body of our. You can simply say employee type. Yeah, we are passing a request body for our employee. You can simply annotate with request body and then simply pass here employee. Now simply to return, this will be response entity.ok. We are calling employee service dot save and we are passing here employee itself. Coming to next, this will be get mapping. It means we are going to read the data by its ID. For that perspective, I'm passing here find by ID. This is our API name, find by ID. And the input parameter we are passing here EMP ID itself. It will be public response entity. It will be type of our optional. Optional it will be type of our employee. Optional the class. This is Java feature. It will help us to avoid null pointer exception. If you want to check internal implementation, simply press the control, click on optional. See since Java 1.8. Since Java 1.8 available this optional class. This class coming from java.util package. It will help us to avoid null pointer exception. Here I am saying this is find by ID. Again we are passing here input parameter, right? Path variable. Which is the type? Integer type of EMP ID we are passing. We simply do return. This will be response entity.ok employee service dot find by ID. Pass the ID as input parameter. Coming to next, again we are writing here get mapping. This is for find all. Then here we are saying here this is response entity. Type it will be list. This it will be type of our employee. And here you can simply say find all. Then to return, this will be response entity.ok employee service dot find all. This way be done with the find all API as well. Next is put mapping. Here we are trying to update the data. Simply say here update, and here we are passing EMP as input parameter. Now we are adding here this close curly brace. Then public, this will be response entity. Once data is updated, we are trying to fetch it. That's why I'm passing return type itself employee. The method name is update. Then here we are passing path variable. This will be integer type of EMP ID we are passing. And corresponding request body also we are going to pass for employee. Then now we need to handle here exception if a record is not found. Then here we are going to say this is custom exception we are going to handle. For that perspective, we need to come up with the packaging structure. Simply create the new package. The package name I'm giving here exception. Then within exception we are going to create new Java class. The Java class name we are giving here record not found exception, and here you can simply use exchange. This will be a runtime exception we are going to handle here. And if you want to say record not found exception, the status code we are trying to throw as 404, it means not found. That's why I'm passing a response status, and the value we are giving here not found. If you want to check what is not found, this is the client side error 404. See, here is it, and description itself available not found. Now we are just going to add here parameterized constructor. You can simply say public. This will be record not found exception. We are passing here string type of message. Then we are passing a super message. And whenever you want to throw, then you can simply say throw new record not found exception. Then here we are going to handle the custom exception in controller layer. For that perspective, I am using here employee. This will be employee1 equal to employee service dot find by ID. Pass the ID as input parameter, and then we are using or list row. This is Java feature we are using here. This is lambda expression. Simply say new record not found exception, and we are passing here string type of message like employee hash ID does not exist. If record is not available corresponding ID, it will print custom message like employee ID does not exist. And now once ID is available, then we are trying to set the data as well. Then we are calling here employee1. Employee1, this is data coming from database if it's available. Then we are using set emp name. Let us try to employee.get name. Again employee1.set. This will be salary. We are calling here employee.get salary. And then simply to return, this will be response entity.ok. Then we are calling here employee service dot update, and here you can simply pass employee 1 ending with semicolon here to handle the compilation problem. Then see this employee 1, it means this is database actually we are fetching data, and this employee coming from end user either Postman or React screen as Swagger UI. Now coming to next, and this is the last API we are writing for this session, delete mapping. Then here you can simply say delete by ID. Then here I am passing input parameter emp ID, public response entity. We are giving string type of message. Simply say delete by ID. Now we are passing here @ path variable. Integer type of emp ID we are passing here. Then simply call here employee service dot delete by ID. Pass input as ID itself. Now simply return here response entity dot OK. We are returning string type of message. Data deleted successfully. See, this way we done with our entire code. Use Ctrl A, Alt Ctrl L. It will format the code base as well. Now we'll simply come up with the main class and simply right click and start the application. See, application goes to work on which port number? The port number is by default we are using 8080. Then sorry. Meanwhile, we'll come up with the Chrome, and we are hitting here Swagger URL, Swagger UI URL, Swagger hyphen UI.html. You see localhost colon 8080 / Swagger hyphen UI.html. See, here is our application also working in Swagger. Simply goes to post and just try it out. I'm pass. I don't need to pass here. Simply I'm passing here name as Sora, and employee salary I'm passing here 97,000.96. Then see, execute. Data is inserted. One more record I'm going to add here. Record I'm adding here Shubham, and Shubham salary I'm adding here 99,000.96. Data inserted. This is second record. If you want to add one more record, simply otherwise you can try it from Postman API as well, right? Postman API perspective, we are passing this is the URL, right? And then body we required row, and this is we are calling as a JSON. Then for that perspective, we'll consider this is the request payload, and we'll pass data from here as well. Then instead of Shubham, I'm adding here Lakshmi, and Lakshmi salary we are adding here 92,000.96. Send the request. Data inserted, third number record, right? Then either you can use Postman API, otherwise Swagger UI. But most convenient here, we are going to do the Swagger UI. Now we are trying to fetch all record, find all. Just click on try it out and then execute. See all data fetching, right? Now we'll come up with the update data. Then I want to update the data for Lakshmi. Then we'll come up with the update. Just write out here, pass the ID as 3. Then here we are passing Lakshmi. Now I want to update the Lakshmi surname. Then we are passing here Lakshmi Bhosle, and we'll give the capital letters. Salary I want to update as 4,50,000.96. Then try to execute. Then third number record we are trying to update as Lakshmi Bhosle, and same data you can simply check in database as well. Simply come up with the tables, right click there, refresh, and then goes to employees and just view the data, all rows. There will be available 3 records, and Lakshmi data is updated as Lakshmi Bhosle. Yeah, and salary also updated 4,50,000 successfully here. And now coming to next, here again I'm passing like 1001, this ID is not exist, right? Then what we are expecting? We are expecting 404 record not found exception and employee ID does not exist. See here you will get 404 and not found, and exception is record not found exception and employee ID does not exist. Same if you are coming to our application level, right? Application not goes to crash because we handle here custom exception like record not found exception and then employee does not exist. Now coming to next is we are trying to find by ID. Just try it out. I am passing 1. We are expecting Soraka record there. Yes. First record is fetched successfully. Now I'm trying to fetch third number record. See third number record also fetched successfully here. Now coming to next, and this is the last API we are trying to test. Delete by ID. Simply pass here 2. It will delete the second number record. Perfect. And if you want to delete data by using Postman API as well, then also you can simply come up with the Postman API here and simply create the new request. Click on plus icon here, then pass the API, and then here you can pass your, suppose I'm trying to delete first number record, simply send request. It will be 404 because it's showing method not allowed. I need to choose here delete method. Now simply send. See data deleted successfully. Now what we are expecting? We are expecting there will be available only one record because 2 records already we have deleted, right? Yeah. Then in this session we handle like Spring Boot CRUD application, create, read, update, and delete. And the technologies we are using here, backend Java 17 we have used here, Spring Boot also we are using latest version, and data JP as persistence layer. In database we are using here Postgres, and the API testing we are using here Postman API and Swagger UI. You can choose any one of that. Now we're done with our session, but till like if you are facing any difficulties, you can feel free to add your questions in comment box. Yeah, that's it in this session. Thanks for watching this video. Please do like, share, comments, and subscribe this channel to get more updates, and see you in next video.